Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, romance is in the air, or maybe it's not, but we're seizing the opportunity to indulge this year, whether for Valentine's, Galentines, or just another Sunday in lockdown. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello.
And we are two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. Nearly Valentine's Day.
That time of year, that card company time of year.
Chocolate companies.
Oh, flower arrangements, all that. So yeah, we thought that it would be a good idea to give some people that, because this is going to come out the week before Valentine's Day. If you haven't thought of a present already, and you're the type of couple that gives presents, or you want to give yourself a present. If you're single, you want to give yourself a present.
Love yourself.
We thought this would be, treat yourself, basically, is what you got to do.
Yeah.
And we thought, why buy yourself the normal like chocolates and flowers and all that when you could have chocolate beer instead?
Yeah. Got some sexy beers tonight.
I'm excited. Yes, we have been code naming them like sexy desserts. Like we were like, it has to be a dessert, but it has to be like a sexy dessert beer. Do you want to tell everyone what we've got tonight then?
Yes, so we're a bit fierce heavy tonight, but that's never a bad
Not
thing. Bad. We've got Take a Break, which is their Kit Kat.
Can we say that? Is that wafer, the wafer chocolate bar?
Chocolate wafer pale ales. This is our pale one because we were getting quite stout heavy, so we picked up that one.
And really, I wanted an excuse to drink that.
I know, I've wanted to try it.
I really wanted to try it. So
I too. Then Fierce Again, Moose. This is a classic. This one is.
Yeah.
Lovely chocolate stout there. Nice at 4.5% ABV. That's a nice,
it's a very sessionable stout. Let's see how it is on thinness and mouthfeel.
Then we got Brew York Extra Brownie Pints. Oh, this is a good one.
Not had this before. Very excited.
It's good. We'll talk about it when we get further on, but I've used that in baking before.
I imagine it's incredible. Instant brownies.
Maybe. And then this super interesting can. We've got Abbeydale's.
It's a bit shiny on the video. Let me.
Strawberry Tigers and Rooftop Jacuzzi. So this is a strawberry chocolate smoked cherry wood chipped imperial dessert stout. Oh, that sounds exciting.
Nothing says sexy like a mouthful of words and some strawberries.
Right.
And a hot tub.
I am just going to describe the can of this one for those that are listening. So it is quite shiny pink and gold, and there are two bright pink. Well, there's a bright pink tiger in a pink jacuzzi, and then there's a tiger cub that looks slightly traumatized
outside of the jacuzzi.
Outside of the jacuzzi on a rooftop garden overlooking a city with their signature kind of broken abbey stuff.
And
it's a nice looking
there's a little hospital landing pad over in the corner, like that one. I bet this is probably based on their actual skyline somewhere. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, I like how pink it is. It's a fun can.
Very pink.
For sure. And it just oozed sex appeal. So
it's
strap in, guys.
That said Valentine's to us. Pink tigers in pink jacuzzis says Valentine's to us.
Nothing gets sexier than tigers, jacuzzis, and
Make
strawberries.
Of that what you will for what we do on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Leave that up to your imagination.
Absolutely nothing. It's normally what I do.
No, exactly. And I guess that's before we start cracking them. I'm not usually a Valentine's Day person. We're not, my husband and I, we're not the most romantic of people. Our romance is like to just tease each other and stuff. Like if I'm not making mean comments to you, then it just means I just don't like you enough. Right. That's it. So we're just not like that.
The day Gordon stops trying to touch my bum is the day that there's trouble in our marriage, I think.
Yeah. That's a very it's really funny how in the US people do think like British people are very repressed. This is going to be like, I feel like we should have a spoiler on this, like the sexy episode, very sexy. But they always go like, oh, British people are so like repressed. They don't. Yeah, no. I've watched people in public goose their partner, and I'm like sitting giggling at the pub while they're like touching bums and boobs and stuff, and I'm like, that is hilarious. So yeah.
So point about that. Well, this is one of our signature veer off.
I mean, is it sexy? Because then it's not really a veer off.
Well, it's related to what we were talking about. So the first time I ever went to America, I went on an international exchange as part of my second year at university, and I went to the University of Florida, and I took classes with the master's students, and had this excellent professor. Paul Favini. He was an excellent professor, and I had some interesting conversations with him about America versus Britain. And he said to me, and this is something that I've never forgotten, and I always go, remember what Paul said? That because I think I said something, and I was like, I don't get that like American attitude sometimes about whatever it was we were talking about. And he was like, this is the thing you've got to remember: America was built by the Puritans leaving Europe because we thought you lot partied too hard.
I've never heard it explained that way, but that is. I was like, so
that's really true. Like you all think like, oh, you think we're prudish, mate. The things that honestly, we are like, oh, you think like you think that.
I've spoken to other people about Christmas parties here. The first Christmas party that I attended. When I moved to this country, that was an eye-opening experience because I moved here in October time, got a job in November, and the first Christmas party, coming from the US where Christmas parties are usually quite a bit different, seeing people passed out in the road, you're like, let's get you a cab. That is it's an interesting thing. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, for us, we don't in this household, we don't really do Valentine's Day that much.
No, we don't. I think we did when we first got together. We exchanged cards. Might have gone out for a meal. That's probably about it.
Well, that's it. Nowadays, we just use it as an excuse to eat a really good meal and indulge in a really nice pudding, so that we don't feel like, oh, we're having something really like carb loaded and all that. Like, we feel like treat yourself is the way we do it, and we're like, it's because it's Valentine's Day. It's a holiday, even though it's not. But
I'm not wasting that money on the cards. Cards are expensive, man.
Although I did get him a card. It's a really good card. I'm really proud of it.
He's been showing me cards. He's been finding funny cards, and he was like, "Oh, this is one for you. Oh, this is one for me." And I was like, "Do you want me to like print you one out?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm just going to show it to you on my phone."
We've definitely done that before, but I think this year, because of lockdown, I've made a bit more of an effort, and probably just because it's just every day's the same. So any excuse, it's quite literally any excuse to make things slightly different and shake things up a bit. I'm like, Valentine's Day, normally I'd be like, well, like, oh no, not for us, let's just not bother, we'll have a nice meal and watch a film. This year I'm like, what can we do? I can make dinner, we can make a really nice dinner, and trying to find things that are, what should we do for Valentine's Day?
We're still not. We'll just do what we normally do, sit on the sofa and watch telly. I quite like the idea of Galentine's Day. So if no one's heard about this, it actually started from the television show Parks and Recreation.
I watched it.
I've not seen it. We started watching Parks and Rec, and we didn't get into it. Sorry, controversial.
I'm just not. We're not going there. This is all about sexy. We're not having a lovers tiff yet.
No. But Galentine's Day is on the 13th of February and is a time to celebrate your platonic friends, usually female friendships. And to that end, I will be hosting for all of you, my wonderful friends in the craft beer community, a free tasting session on my Facebook page on Galentine's Day, 13th of February. At 7:30, come to the Love Beer Learning Facebook page at that time, and I will go live and I will teach you some simple beer tasting techniques, and you can ask me any and all of your beer related questions live, and I will try to answer them for you. So come to our socials to sign up for that.
And I'll be there, and I'm
Yeah.
bringing my staggeringly good, my Cocodocus. So nothing says chocolatey chocolate for me than that Cocodocus.
I thought I might do, I've got strawberry woo woo from Vault City, but I might do something a bit more beery to talk about beery flavours.
Yeah,
and aromas.
That's the difference of being the host versus the
guest. I've got to do something that's better, that I can pick bits out of rather than just something I want to drink.
I'm just burning through my stash.
If there's a particular type of beer you want me to do, send us an email, lovebilllearning@gmail.com, and I will endeavour to have it as well as my tasting beer on Saturday.
Come you'll have us about a week or so.
Yep.
Before. So
just let me know.
On that.
Yeah.
Special requests.
Yep.
So with that, while we're cracking the first one, we're gonna start on the have a break. While we crack this one, just talking about gifts we give each other in cards and stuff. Have you seen any breweries doing marketing for Valentine's Day? Because I've seen quite a few now.
Yeah, the breweries are getting into it. Yeah, they've got presents and things.
They're in on it with the card companies.
They are.
So basically, I've seen Fierce's Valentine sharing pack, which is their 2 bottles. They do a Fierce by Nature, which I think is more of their it's like the more nature stuff, isn't it?
It's like their version of Overworks.
Yes, so I was trying to think of what's the word that I wanted, but I couldn't think of what it was. So they've got 2 of those.
Spontaneously fermented, and mixed fermented beers.
Yeah, so these are going to be 2 of those bottles, 2 ones that are separate flavors basically, and then 2 Tekus as the sharing one.
Yes.
Host have done a bread thing, a bread pack for the baker in your life.
About that.
Well, I guess it depends, because I sent it to the infamous Helen, and Helen said that actually makes for a great Valentine's date activity though, because you can make it with somebody. So you buy it for someone that likes baking, you guys can make it together, you can have a dough fight, it can get sexy, it can go in lots of, because we're keeping it sexy today. It can go in lots of different directions. So I thought that was quite good. Fierce have also done, back to Fierce quick, they've done a dark pack for Valentine's Day, which has the moose in it. They've also done a mix pack which also has the moose and might have a break in it, I'm not sure. And then Wild Beer Co, I didn't end up buying it in the end because I didn't want to get shouted at, but they've done a Valentine's pack, which is 2 branded champagne flutes, 1 Westcombe cheddar, and then a Ninkasi, a bottle of 750ml, I think it is, of Ninkasi. And both of us have been eyeing those flutes, and then we just keep going, I can't justify it, we don't do it. And then the one that snuck in at the last minute right before we started recording this was Pilot have done a pack of 9 beers, and they're pairing it with 6 macaroons from Mademoiselle Macaroon. It's $29.50 excluding shipping, but I'm wondering if it's a case as well of maybe these macaroons are also quite, I don't know much about them, but it looks really nice, they look lovely, very colourful. So if you're still needing gift ideas for somebody that you buy gifts for, friend, loved one, yourself, your dog, maybe don't get them for your dog, get them for your dog,
don't
and
get
you have them.
Dog,
no, you get it for them and then you have it. Definitely consider those, because there might be some more out there as well, but that seems to be some new things that are being marketed to us at the moment. Right, I've got on to the Fierce.
I've got it in my Fierce tasting glass. I wanted to be correct glass on brand.
Classy. I didn't, because my Fierce is a Teku, and I was like, I can't be having all these out of a Teku.
I've got my Teku ready for Moose.
I feel like I should get mine, but now I just can't be bothered. So this one, it's almost like an amber. It's like a bright amber colour, isn't it?
It's very clear. Lots of carbonation bubbles. They're quite fat carbonation bubbles as well.
My bubbles seem to just be, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, mine seem to be just kind of sitting there.
Oh, mine are going for it. Mine's very fizzy looking, and it's got kind of a creamy white head.
But
mine didn't last. It didn't last very long. No,
it goes away quite quick.
It's got a sweet chocolate.
I'm getting. It's weird because the smell is like a wafery scent. It's quite interesting. bit more malty when I cover it as well.
Yeah.
But I did initially get a very light milk chocolate and wafer.
Yes.
Which was I wasn't expecting it to smell like that.
No, right.
I expected it to be like, no, it doesn't really hold up to that.
Oh, that's interesting. It does taste like a Kit Kat.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm processing how I feel the aftertaste as well. That's like lingering there is
I think there's less chocolate and more
wafer.
the wafer and the sweet cream filling that's in.
You know what it is? It's like if you were to I don't eat them like this because I think, and I stand by this comment, people that eat Kit Kats like this are weird. But when you take the bits off the top, you're going to say you eat the Kit Kat like that. You're weird.
Yeah.
I stand by it.
I eat the chocolate around.
I've drawn my lines, but it's when you eat the top off. No, you're acceptable. The people that aren't acceptable are the one that I worked with before who literally there's 4 fingers in a Kit Kat. They don't break them apart. They just hunk into the Kit Kat.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah, who does that?
No, you break the finger off.
Yeah,
you break the finger off. You eat the chocolate from around it.
I can
and then
deal
you
with
eat
that.
Each layer. That's
I can
how you eat a Kit Kat.
I can deal with that.
And then you go on to the next finger.
What I cannot deal with is leaving all 4 attached and just taking a bite out of it.
No, that's nonsense.
It's weird. It's weird. But what I was getting at is that the taste is very much like when you do your weird thing and you take the chocolate off all around it and you're left with the wafer and the remaining chocolate.
That's what I like about Kit Kat.
Then this is probably amazing for you.
It's great.
That is
I'm loving it.
Pretty much what it tastes like.
Yeah. That's a fun beer.
That is, yeah. I don't know. I think I was expecting it to end up being a lot more heavily malty sweet. Because a lot of them, when they say, oh, we're going to do this type of style of like chocolate bar style or milk chocolate, ends up being very malty sweet heavy, and it ends up sort of taking away from the chocolate flavor. But this actually nailed it quite well.
It's nice. It's one of those beers that kind of upsets your brain because it's a pale ale. It's a pale ale colour. It's an amber colour. And then it tastes like it should look much darker than that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Upsets your brain. But that is the beauty of beer tasting. Don't be deceived by the colour of it.
When you get a white stout or you get a black IPA.
Just enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
It is really that lingering bit when you breathe out. It tastes a lot more chocolatey as well. When you're originally tasting it, it doesn't taste as chocolatey. But when you kind of do like your breathe out situation, you do get the chocolate on it. I'm digging it.
I like it.
I'm excited I got a chance to try it because it's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Fierce always do this where they do the same thing with the maple pancake and with the Eskimo Joe cold brew. It's like a pale, so you're like, there's no way it's going to hold those bold flavors like a stout can. There's absolutely no way. And then you try it and you're like, wow, they've really nailed this quite well. And I'm just so interested to know how they get these pales so spot on with the full flavor, because it's just, I've never seen anybody else be able to pull a bold flavor in a pale off the way they do it. And I'm just like, how do you do it?
Yeah, they're very clever. I'm surprised as well because there's no lactose in this.
Is there not?
And I thought from the flavours of it because it is suitable for vegans.
And
it's very creamy. So they've used a lot of wheat and oats instead to get that creamy mouthfeel. See, so you can get that lovely mouthfeel without using lactose.
That's it. It's not as
clever.
We didn't really say, but I mean, it's not as thin as you'd maybe expect from a pale as well. It was quite. It's obviously not like stout thick or anything, but it was a lot more full than what you'd maybe expect coming from the pale.
Yeah, it's nice.
But yes, for you vegan friendly people, that is definitely one that still want to enjoy your chocolate beer. That is definitely one to do.
Yeah.
So on that note, before we crack the next one, just we were saying at the beginning how, replace your chocolates with maybe some chocolate beer, replace your bouquet of flowers with maybe a more flowery type beer. I thought we could just sort of give some suggestions of current beers that are out there that you could do that with. So like for chocolate beers, Aura Brewing, they've got Tentazione, which is a chocolate impy stout, and they've collabed with a chocolatier in Piemonte in Italy where they've got 3 different types of chocolate from them. I'm really wanting to try that one to see how rich chocolate it is because that sounds really nice. The next one I had noted down, you tried last night. I was thinking if you can still get any of the Northern Monk chocolate box, that seemed like a good suggestion. Would you recommend it?
If you can only get one, the one that I'd highly recommend was the hazelnut praline porter. It was absolutely delicious. 7% as well for a porter was high, but it was really lovely. Like, it was just rich, like nutty on the aroma and chocolatey in the taste. It was really, really delicious.
What were the other ones that came with the box?
So there was,
you had a mango one, wasn't there?
Yes, there was a mango white chocolate stout. So that was a white stout. Yeah, that was interesting. It's very mango on the aroma. So when you look at it, you're like, oh, this is going to be like it's going to taste like a mango pale, mango IPA, something like that. And then when you drink it, and it's got looks like it's got quite a bit of carbonation in it. And then when you drink it, it's kind of creamy, and sweet, and kind of mango, and like a vanilla-y white chocolate. It was really interesting. Not my favourite because there was a real alcohol burn at the end.
Right, okay.
So not my favourite, but it was really interesting. Then there was a barrel-aged honeycomb chocolate beer.
That sounds interesting.
That was lovely. It was a lot of honey, like heavy on the honey, and not necessarily in a bad way.
Yeah.
But that was really lovely. Oh, it was bourbon barrel aged as well.
Ooh.
So honey and bourbon.
Boozy.
Very boozy. And then the last one was a rum barrel aged coconut chocolate stout, which had a bit of a buttery quality to it, like not diacetyl and in a bad way. Like I described it as like Werther's Originals.
Yeah, okay.
The toffee where it's like got that kind of like creamy toffee. And we wondered if that was the rum, if that was a part of the flavour profile of the particular rum that they used.
I guess it would depend on what they actually used in the end.
Yeah, but it was interesting. That one was quite boozy as well, but it was smooth. Like both of the barrel aged ones were quite smooth, which I appreciate in a barrel aged beer. Like, I don't want it to be harsh. Like the mango one was a bit harsh, and then
it's the alcohol burn lands in a different. It's not a burn as such. It's boozy, but it doesn't burn. It's not like it lands completely better, I think, when it's a bit more smoothed out.
But they were very clever beers, a bit like this Have a Break. Like, they were clever, really nice beers, definite sippers. Like, took me the whole evening to drink them.
But that's it though. It's like if you've got like a partner that you live with and you're like, oh, if you can find these, then like you could spend the whole night
just sipping them away. Yeah, they'd be delicious.
Saying sexy things to each other. I don't know how to make them sexy. I'm really trying.
I mean, they just look sexy. When you got them from Northern Monk, they came in the chocolate. They came in a box that looked like a chocolate box. Like, it's really cleverly designed. And they're like golden coloured and everything.
Yeah. The cans are golden and they just, lots of sex appeal.
They were
there
good
for
looking.
sure. And then, so those ones, I thought you'd be able to recommend those ones actually. Yes. And there's Overtone have done, I've got this, but I've not tried it yet. They've done, it's Bounty Happen, which is a bounty stout. So I'm curious to know how that is. I hear good things. I know Overtone do some chocolatey ones as well. I've got Dusty Miller, which is a chocolate ice cream one that I need to try. Excited about that. So those are pretty good. Mad Squirrel does a pastry pack. Ooh. I've got 2 out of the 3. I didn't get the Impy because I was trying to be a baller on a budget. So I was going for the ones that I really wanted, like a white chocolate. There's like a double white chocolate in there. So yeah, they do a pastry pack of 3 at the moment, which comes with the glass, and it's 20% off at the moment. So it's only 22 quid.
What kind of glass is it though? Is it those bloody Allegras?
No, it's like my Siren one, the tumbler type one. I don't know I don't know the proper name.
Yeah, the squat ones that are.
Yeah, I call it a tumbler, but then
no, those are the Allegra ones. I don't like those.
Oh yes, it's one of those. It's one of those.
Stemless.
And then it's the pack is a double hazelnut milk stout, an Impy stout, and a double chocolate white milk stout.
Nice.
So that's one that I'm really keen. I haven't tried any of the ones I've got, but that one to me, I was like, that is Valentine's Day present in the making. You get a glass there as well. What else can you want? And then
if you're putting stouts in it, then I suppose an Allegra glass is acceptable.
Yeah, also it's just like a free bonus, isn't it? You just go, here's a glass, just put some water in it. I don't know. It's nice looking. But yeah, so and then I went with like the easy one in case you are like supermarket level going for it, and that's the Vocation and Brew York, the Sweet Temptation. I thought that was quite decent.
Yeah, that was decent.
For what it was.
It could be a touch thicker, but the flavors were really nice.
Yeah, but I mean, Vocation in general and Brew York in general, as we can see, also on their own independently do some banging chocolate stouts. So I mean, that's just more if you go, oh, I forgot to get something for someone last minute, just go to Morrison's and pick it up. That's your easy way out. And then, Amundsen dessert in a can have a whole range of desserts in a can, funnily enough, believe it or not. But I thought maybe the praline, there's a hazelnut praline chocolate truffle you could do. So there's that. And then there's Unity Hug It Out, which is a luscious chocolate and hazelnut stout. And then Neon Raptor clusters are still available, which I didn't realize till I went looking. So yeah, and then flowers are easy because there's so many different beers that have hibiscus in it. You've got some Vault Cities, you've got Good Yonder, Wild Beer Co. Check out all those type of ones for your flower based beers. Your wild beers are kind of really what you want the flowers in. So ditch the bouquet, get the wild beers, and you're good to go. So yeah, should we crack the next one open? I'm really excited to try this one.
And I've got my teku for this one.
Yeah. There's not a lack either of like actual dessert ranges as well, because I've got creme brulee from Beartown Brewery that I've not had that yet, but I'm quite excited to try that. And then the BPA VKs from Three Hills that we had, those are like, I cannot wait to dig into more of those. Those are absolutely gorgeous. And I really want that Iceman interview from Malt Garden, because that's like the chocolate ice cream they've done. I want that so bad. Right, so we just opened the Moose chocolate stout.
It is black.
I'm trying to.
I'm not even getting the highlight out of it. It is black. It's got a nice creamy beige head on it though.
I can see a slight red, so I've just held it like properly up to light, and I can see right at the top where there's like the meniscus is what I guess you'd say. It looks a bit red, but only just barely. And the head doesn't stay very long on it.
Mine's stayed quite well.
Mine's gone quite quickly, sadly.
Dark chocolate. Bitter dark chocolate on the aroma.
I'm getting just more maltiness in mine.
Yeah.
And not so much chocolate at all. Let's see.
Dark chocolate mousse, that.
I think mine might be too warm because I did have mine out for a bit, but mine's more bitter, sweet cacao, I think. I'm not really getting mousse. It's not bad. It's decent stout, but it's not for me. It's not landing like a mousse.
Oh, I quite like the body of it. I think it's quite mousse-like.
I think it might just be maybe I've left mine out maybe it's too warm now, because everyone says, oh, you've got to keep it out for X amount of time so it warms up. Maybe I've just let it warm up too much.
It's not sweet chocolate. It is bitter dark chocolate.
I'm getting some roasty notes on it though, which is quite nice.
Yeah. There's supposed to be vanilla in there as well. I'm not getting a massive amount of vanilla, but
no, I'm not really getting vanilla in mine.
I don't mind that.
But yeah, so this is it's the lower sessionable version of Very Big Moose. So I'll be curious. I think we mentioned it in our Amped Up episode, but I'll be curious to try the VBM, because I want to. That would make a really good comparison of getting both of them. And then there's the bourbon.
Yeah, there are various versions of it. Yeah.
So I'd be interested in trying them all and just kind of seeing how they vary in that, I think.
I've had a few over the years, I think. It's been a while though, so I couldn't off the top of my head tell you about them.
No, they've listed cinnamon as an adjunct in this.
In this?
Yeah, when I looked on their website, it was listed as an adjunct.
Oh.
And I thought that was interesting.
And I was like, ingredients?
No. I pulled it from their actual website. So I thought that was
That's very interesting.
interesting because I was like, how will that come through in all of this? Unless it was just old and they've changed the recipe or something, maybe, or it was on there in error. But I definitely don't get cinnamon in it.
No.
And I was trying to think of what that would do for the beer, because it doesn't seem like a recipe that would use cinnamon.
I don't feel like it would need cinnamon either.
Not that I'm ever turning down cinnamon.
Well, so. no,
but I do like a good bit of cinnamon, but
tasty nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all. I think the nuttiness, I'm getting a bit of like nutty roastiness that comes through, and that's quite good. I might put it in the fridge and see how it sort of, if it gets a bit colder, does that change it at all? Although I will say, sort of the lingering part of it for me, it comes off almost like a chalky cacao, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So like that type of flavor is definitely there. So I am getting the chocolate in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting way for it to come through. But yeah, it's not so bad. So next, I thought we would just quickly think, do you have any good beer related date ideas? Either like friends, in the same house, remote, any good beer ideas?
Beer and cheese pairings. That's a good date one.
Siren are having their beer and cheese tasting.
Yeah.
Or you make your own. Honestly, there's guidance on how to do it.
Yeah. You can literally just, I think you could just Google beer and cheese and you'd find lots of information about beer and cheese pairings.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be other breweries doing like brewery related events and stuff like that as well, that if you just Google your favorite breweries, somebody's bound to do something.
Yeah. Or you could just like, if it's just the two of you, you could just you could pick out random beers for one another and wrap it up and do a blind beer tasting together.
Yeah.
You could cover it for one another so they don't know. I was wondering, I think you could potentially do like fondue with a bit of beer in it. Like you could probably do a cheese fondue where like sometimes where they put a bit of wine in, you could put a bit of beer in instead, do beer.
Yeah, because you can make beer and cheese dip.
Yeah, or just do beer fondue with various beer pairings with it.
Oh, you can make a nice like a beer pretzel.
Yeah, beer pretzels.
Like a cheese dip.
Yeah,
that'd be quite good. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's creative. That's a good one.
I've also made.
I was thinking
pretzels.
About your Galentine's event.
Oh yeah. Of course, come to that the day before. Learn about beer tasting together. There you go. There's a date. There's a date night for you. I've made pretzels with spent grain from brewing before. So when you've strained all the water out, which is then the wort to make your beer with, you've got the grain left over. And like we've talked about before, like brewers usually like give it to farms for the cows and for a cattle feed and things like that. Obviously I don't have a cow to feed mine to.
You don't just have one in your garden. No, don't you live in Kent? Don't you all have one?
No, most of the time it goes in the compost, or I have taken it and you lay it out on a baking tray and then you put it in an oven at a really low heat and just dry it out. And then I use a coffee grinder to grind it up into flour, and I mix it in various different things. I've made beer crackers, I've made beer pretzels. So you just use it as flour. So you could make spent grain pretzels if you have a brewer in your life, and then have that with beer and cheese dip.
It's very artisanal, that.
Isn't it?
I like that. I was thinking the blind taste test as well, and I thought the good thing about that is you can sort of do that if you don't live in if your partner or your friend who you want to spend the day with or anything like that doesn't live in the same household as you with all the COVID lockdowns. You could always contact a bottle shop and say, can you, like, they'll even probably blank out the label for you depending on how small the shop is and if they've got that kind of time and you speak to them individually, or you just order a bunch for the other person and just see how that turns out, or even with the pairings, because I was thinking you could do that your own food pairing. There's lots of sort of guidance online of how to lead your own and that, but you could also contact your bottle shop and just say, we're thinking of doing a food pairing. either tell them what it is or see if they've got recommendations and say, give us whatever and tell us what to pair it with and see how that goes. So I thought that was good. Or you have if you've got a conservatory, you can have a nice little picnic, a nice little beer picnic.
Beer picnic. That'd be fun.
But then you can pretend you're outside even when it's cold out.
Yeah. I did that for Oktoberfest though, when we did our Oktoberfest. You could set up your own bar. You could set up your own pub in your living room like I do. That's going to come out for Gordon's birthday next.
Elsham Outpost.
Elsham Outpost will come out again for Gordon's
And you brew your own beer, so you are properly like an outpost,
We're
aren't
a brew
you?
pub. We are a proper brew
You
pub
are.
at my house. So you could have like a little beer picnic in the living room still. You can set up your own bar. Like literally just stick some fairy lights up. You can like pull up various different things on YouTube. Like I've pulled up a fireplace. I've pulled up the fireworks for New Year's. Like you can find various things. You could probably find
a gig. Like you could find like who your favorite musicians are and just do a playlist of all their live shows and just pretend like you're. I mean, I know it's not the same, but pretend you're at a live gig or like order a dartboard and just play darts together. Like
you get Velcro ones.
Like
if you're not worried. If you're worried about the sharp, pointy ones. Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's all sort of fun things to do together. Or if you like video games and you're of the video game persuasion. I was going to recommend marble races, but I already got shut down by my husband on marble races, so I'm not even going to get into that. But if you like video games, you could just make up your own rules to multiplayer games. Like we make up Mario Kart, where like you could get a beer and then you've kind of got to finish your beer before. It's encouraging drink. Don't drink and drive. Do it in Mario Kart.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. But if you're playing Mario Kart, we have a thing where it's like, oh, you've got to finish your drink before you cross the finish line.
Oh, wow.
Because in Mario World, you can't drink or drive. It's fine. Yeah, it's all about what you and your partner or your friends or you on your own like to do and just find a way to add beer to it and make it creative.
Yeah.
That's our recommendations for good date nights, and watch marble races and just enjoy that. That gets way more fun the more you drink.
I bet it does.
It really does. So I can't wait for this Brew York. Let's crack it open.
It's a good one. So I have used this to make beer brownies. And it came out really delicious.
Oh my god, this smells like heaven in a can.
Yeah.
It smells so nutty, so fudgy chocolate. If it doesn't like what we were talking about with when we had the Three Hills is it's very much like there's nothing more disappointing of when something smells so good and doesn't taste it. And now I'm really nervous that it's not gonna live up to the taste. So the head on this is a bit interesting because it's almost like it's like a mocha, but there's almost like a reddish tint on mine to it around the edges. It's very thick. Dark color. Yeah, it looks thick. Ooh.
It's got real
and
nutty.
the smell is just absolutely gorgeous. Like I
nutty,
can't going in.
Peanut, caramel.
Oh my god, yeah, that's beautiful.
Now imagine that in a chocolate brownie.
That is beautiful. And I'm like the peanut in it. I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial.
Oh, here she goes.
The peanut is landing in a way that's arguably a bit more peanut buttery than some peanut butter beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've just, the taste I've got from that is like peanut, but there's like a sugary element to it that I was like, no, that's a bit more like peanut butter, like a natural peanut butter, but still more peanut buttery than some beers that say they're peanut butter. It's really lovely. This
is a good one.
It's filling. It's thick,
chewy,
creamy, definitely chewy. And I bet this makes amazing puddings.
So good. In fact, I just want to go and bake brownies now.
Which buy more of these. I've only got one.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm almost getting a bit of like, this is going to sound weird, but I'm getting a bit of banana in there as well.
Oh, really?
In mine. Yeah. I don't know why, but obviously something within it. Maybe it's the caramel. It might be the caramel.
Yeah.
Comes through in an almost like banana-like way, but not in a fake, like what we know of it, banana taste and smell is fake effectively.
Yeah.
If you Google it, it's interesting to read. But this lands in sort of like a banana-ish type of way, but I think it's the caramel for sure.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I'm really sad I've only got the one, and I really want to buy more of it. This is really nice. I want to make a pudding with it, but now it's too late. It's too late.
Well, you don't need it to be fizzy to go in.
Yeah, but it's not going to make it that long.
Yeah, you're just going to drink it.
I'm going to just drink it. I suggested, so we'll get on to the indulgent sexy desserts you can make with beer in a minute, because that's a perfect lead on to that. But I suggested the other day to Rick, I said, for Valentine's Day, I can make us this like a nice pudding. He's like, what are you thinking? He really likes cheesecake. So I was like, instead of buying a cheesecake, I told you about this. I was like, instead of buying a cheesecake, I saw this recipe for a no-bake peanut butter porter cheesecake. I was like, oh, I'll do that. So I recommended that. And his response to me was, are you going to use this for like your podcast or something? And I was like,
rude.
No, I just thought I'd make us a nice pudding. And then he goes, but wouldn't it be nicer to just drink the beer and then have the pudding? And I was like, the beer is what gives the pudding the flavor. And he's like, but does it? I was like, yes.
That's how it works.
I was giving him all these different things I could do. I was like, we could do some mascarpone. We could mix some mascarpone with this, sort of like a deconstructed tiramisu kind. And he was just like, wouldn't you just rather have the beer separate? Do you really want to put the beer in that? I was like,
yes, I do, because it makes it delicious. Like adding 2 tablespoons of this beer to my brownie mix, it just lifts the flavor.
Case in point reference, the last time I made beer brownies with the tiny Rebel mint one, that wasn't very the beer itself I didn't really enjoy because there was no mint in it, but I used it to make mint brownies and they were amazing. And he was like, these are amazing. And I referenced that to him and he went, don't you think they would have still been good without that in it? And I was like, it's lost in you.
You just don't need you. Just stop.
I don't need that negativity.
You don't need that negativity in your life. Like, just do it.
No, I then turned around and
bake with beer.
I then turned around and said, well, guess who's going to get it and guess who's not. So I'm going to make one for me.
Nice.
And then I'll make one for you separate that doesn't have it in it. And then we can tell each other who's got the better one. So yeah, that was
I love it.
I was not pleased. I was like, I don't even know you. Who hurt you? It was not great.
Gordon's the same. I made, so for dinner tonight,
who hurt you? Who did this to you?
For dinner for myself tonight, because he decided he was going to have jacket potato instead because he didn't fancy it, I made lager and lime chicken tacos. They were delicious. So I beer brined my chicken. So lager, lime juice, salt, sugar, spices, beer brined it. Then I roasted it. There's your chicken. Then I made lager and I used corn. What is it you put in cornbread? Cornmeal. Use cornmeal because it's called polenta elsewhere.
You can actually get cornmeal. You got to go to the foreign section at Tesco.
I have. That's what I think I got mine off of Amazon.
And you get a big bag.
Yeah. Got a big bag. So I use half cornmeal, half flour and lager to make my tacos. And then I made
homemade tortillas.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yes. I nearly married a Mexican girl. Like I know how to make proper flour tortillas. Yeah, I can teach you, girl. I can teach you. I was taught by a proper Mexican tia how to make proper flour tortillas.
Oh,
my ones today I was not happy with. My shaping has. I've done it in a while.
Using lager in that as well.
Yeah, so it's literally lager, cornmeal, flour, bit of salt.
Okay, we're taking this off air because I need to know about that. I'm like, we don't want to deviate too far, but and
then I made mango salsa.
I can make a mean salsa, I've got that, but I'm thinking of maybe trying to make hot sauce with beer for tacos.
Ooh. These are good date menus.
They are good date menus.
To keep it on track.
It can get very spicy.
Yeah, you could be making these for your Valentine.
Spice up your love life with some tacos.
Yeah.
Back to what we were talking about though.
Yes.
So you were mentioning puddings, you make brownies.
Yep.
So I've seen a few recipes. I know you probably know a few recipes. So the ones I've seen recently, I saw a beer churros with chocolate stout sauce.
Ooh.
That sounded amazing. And I was like, yes. I've actually seen people making tiramisu.
Yeah, beer tiramisu is a thing.
Beer
masu.
Yeah, beer masu. And I think people have been saying that Roaster Coaster comes out really good. And that's something you can easily get in a supermarket. Yeah.
Coffee.
And London Beer Factory Zia, which is a tiramisu stout, and it is in a supermarket, so it's quite easy to get. That one's probably another one that's quite good to do it with. I've seen a mud pie with beer ice cream. I've never heard of beer ice cream before.
Oh yeah, you can make beer ice cream.
That's blown my mind. Totally blown my mind completely. There was I thought this was good because it's utilizing a dipper and not a stout. Mm-hmm. There's a chocolate orange double IPA mousse. So I thought that was quite good because normally you see all very chocolate, dark beers being used for puddings, and I thought that was good. And then what you were just saying about the lager, there's a lager and lime cheesecake you can make.
Yeah. I reckon you could use like a light beer in like a lemon tort as well. Like maybe a saison would be quite nice with lemon in a lemon tort, I reckon. I do have a recipe for Guinness chocolate cake on my blog if anyone wants to go and have a look. lovebeerlearning.co.uk. It's on the blog. Go and find it. You can make it.
I've seen your
loved one.
I was when I saw that, I was like, that looks gorgeous.
It comes out spot on every time. So just follow the recipe. You can use Guinness. Guinness is like the traditional, but I've also used Mackeson's milk stout, Marston's Pearl Black. Like pretty much any stout is going to go well in it. Like
I bet play around because even if you get a flavored stout, you might end up getting like a flavored chocolate cake and then chuck some
extra brownie pints would be amazing in it. And a coffee like Roaster Coaster, coffee one would be amazing in it.
Not drink it all right to make it, and that's going to be the most challenging part of all of it. Yeah,
it doesn't you don't need a whole can though. So there's
I'm really mad
for you to drink.
I'm going to have to go share this after because he saw what I was drinking and he's like, "Do I get to try some?" And now I'm so annoyed that I have to share it. That's a future me problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Any other ones you can think of? I want to make that chocolate peanut butter porter no bake cheesecake.
I've seen carrot cake made with beer as well.
Ooh.
I think that's a pale beer that's used in that.
Do you think you could make like a lemon drizzle cake with a light beer?
Oh yeah, I've done it. I have done that.
How's that?
So when you make the drizzle, instead of using because the drizzle is lime juices and stuff, so you could use like a lemony beer. That Tiny Rebel key lime lager, that's proper limey, so you could use some of that in with your ice and sugar to make your drizzle.
Right. Yeah,
I've done that before.
That's an interesting one. Speaking of that though, so you could also do, if you really, when we were saying earlier about cheese fondue or beer fondue or that, you could probably do a chocolate version.
Yep.
Where you can do like a chocolate stout type dip, and then you could make different bits, like you could make some type of beer pound cake type situation to dip into it. So you could get, if it depends on how much time and effort you want to put into it. If you want to spend a whole day baking because you've got nothing else to do on a Sunday
and you
go
love
wild.
It.
Yeah. Or you could it could be a date. You could both make the things together. Like I said, have a flower fight, get sexy, make some puds.
You can make beer caramel as well. I've seen that. And I also make beer fudge.
Beer fudge. I was just about to say beer fudge. When you said caramel, I was like, fudge.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's some good things you can make.
Yeah.
Right. Are you ready to try this Abbey Dow?
I am.
I'm interested to try this because this is a really interesting...
I'm excited that it's smoked. It's got a little bit of smoke in it.
I thought you'd like that. The smoked bit.
I like a little bit of smoke in my
I was like, she'll like this because it's smoky. But I thought it was quite interesting in that it was like, cherry wood chipped, smoky strawberry. Bit of gutted, it's not pink, be honest. The head on this one stays really well on mine. And it's very dark. I don't see any any tint to it at all.
No, that's black.
That's a nice foamy head. It's almost like some of the nitro ones I've had as of late. It almost looks similar to that.
Thick, creamy beige head on that.
Yeah.
Almost tan.
I can smell the smokiness heavily. I'm wondering how smoked it's going to be.
I'm getting smoked cherry. I'm not getting a lot of strawberry, but I find that strawberry's always
what gets lost, probably.
Yeah, it's always a lighter flavour.
It doesn't smell like a dessert. It doesn't smell like a
it smells like it.
Yeah, it smells more like a barbecue and smoked thing.
It smells like cherry smoked. Cherry wood smoked.
Oh yeah. That is a 12 point. So this is a 12.4%. That is definitely a 12.4%. That is boozy.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, putting that into perspective, so the Brew York extra brownie pints, that was 11%. This is 12.4%. The extra brownie pints, you could have told me that was the 4.5% one, and I'd be like, yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah, it's hot chocolate.
That is a dangerous beer.
It's like liquefying a brownie or just having a super indulgent hot chocolate. This one does not hide its ABV.
I do get the strawberry. And then it's quite bitter from those dark malts and the smoke.
I'm not getting the bitterness too much. I am definitely getting the strawberry. I'm not really getting the chocolate. No. I'm getting strawberry and I'm getting smoky cherry wood chips. Interesting. It's really interesting. I can't say I don't like it. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's not like anything I've had before to compare it to.
I'm surprised it's hopped with Galena, because Galena give you like lemon and lime-y type flavours, and I don't know why you would use. I mean, maybe there's something else they were trying to get out of Galena, but that's not the hop that I would have used for this.
I don't know. Maybe it balances out some other flavours. Yeah, it could be that it's balancing out some of the other elements that nothing kind of goes heavily one way or another.
It wouldn't have been the hop that I would have picked to hop this with, but that's me.
I was saying I was gutted that I wasn't pink, but now that the head's kind of subsided a bit, it's almost like there's kind of a reddish pinky tint to it on mine. So I'm on the head bit, so I'm all right with that. That's good. I mean, I wish it was going to come out like bright pink. That would have been brilliant. But no, this is a really, I would say, so it's a dessert stout, an impy dessert stout, but I would probably say for me, it almost comes off as more savory in a way. Like there's strawberry there, but it's like if you were to take something that's more savory and then put a little bit of like sweet on it. That's kind of
it's
where
not,
I'm getting from it.
It's not sweet.
It's not like if you were like, here's a dessert, like that's not.
No,
it's not the dessert that you think it is. If you're expecting like like Zia dessert stout where it's really sweet, that's not what you're going to get here. But if you were really wanting the impy stout side of things, that's exactly what it is. And I think you can probably maybe tell it a bit by the ABV on it. Although again, you look at extra brownie pints and it's like 11%, totally different worlds.
Yeah, I always think it's really clever when a brewer can hide the ABV in it. Like that's a really well made beer.
I will say for this though, while it is heavily boozy, I would be surprised if you said 12.4.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste it doesn't taste quite that high. You can get the booziness from it, which I think you kind of expect based on the flavors that you're told it is, but it's
you can see the booziness in the glass because it's just you get that oily residue on your glass. It's interesting. It's really a proper interesting beer.
If you want your mind blown and you want to try something unique, because the thing is, I don't think I've tried anything that's been so similar in the sense of having that sweet element of the strawberries and the smokiness, a smoky dessert. I've never had a smoky dessert stout at all.
So this really reminds me of a beer that I had. So it was Steel City, Lost Industry, Boutilliers, and it's called Burn the Kirsch.
Oh.
And they did different versions of it, and I got the Holman Collin edition. And it was a smoked cherry beer, and it was really lovely. So it was smoky, and then there was cherry. Now, I found that it had a little bit of a blue cheese savouriness to it.
Oh.
Which I think might have been the barrel that it was aged in, because it was aged in a barrel. But it was a Rauch beer, so a smoked beer, as opposed to a dessert. What are we calling this? A dessert.
It's a dessert stout. Technically, it's an imperial dessert stout.
See, I think I would call this more of a Rauch beer because it's smokier than.
And that's it. It's like, I don't think that I would. I mean, obviously, I'm not the one that's responsible for labeling things, and we know I'm not the most professional. But for me, it doesn't hit dessert stout, let alone imperial dessert stout.
No.
Which is not at all to go, oh, I don't like it, or it's not.
No,
it's just it doesn't.
If we're boxing it,
if I'm recommending something to somebody and saying like, oh, what style do you like, and they say I like a dessert stout, and I like impy stouts, I wouldn't go, I've got the perfect one for you, because I'd be like, oh, what kind of stouts do you like? Like, do you like smoky? Because I think the strawberry's nice, it's there. And I think that's balancing out the smokiness quite a bit, which is nice. They play off each other really nice. I'm not getting the chocolate, and I don't mind that. That's fine. But I think when you say dessert stout, that comes with a bit of expectation about the sweetness. And it's not sweet. It's definitely, for me, it's more savoury.
Yeah, definitely. And that's fine. I think actually it works out quite well, because we've got all these chocolatey beers, and then actually we're now showcasing this slightly savoury one for those people that aren't that into their chocolate.
But it still qualifies as sexy.
It does. Sexy pink tigers in jacuzzis.
That's exactly what it is. That should be, can we call the episode
Sexy pink tigers in jacuzzis? In jacuzzis. I was going to call it something boring like Valentine's Day, but let's call it Sexy Pink Tigers in Jacuzzis. No,
it's called Sexy Pink Tigers in Jacuzzi.
Done.
Or you could just call it oozing with sex appeal. It's up to you, whichever you want to do. But I like the first one. That's good.
I think that's it.
But yeah, it's something a bit different for people that I think maybe don't want sweet.
Yes,
it's a nice option. Unintentional,
yes,
from us.
Because this is not what we thought was coming out of this can.
It's not at all what we thought was coming out of the can. Is it high quality? Yes.
Yes.
Is it sweet? Not so much.
But I have. I am at a point now with Abbeydale where I expect something interesting. Like their beers are interesting.
Yeah.
So
I've got their cappuccino one. Oh, it's a mochaccino, or is it cappuccino? It's one of the two. It's a stout, and it's either one of the other, or it's the chocolate and coffee. And I'm really excited to try that one, because I'm like, I find that Abbeydale they do quite quality beers.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to see how chocolatey that's going to be, or if it's going to be more coffee heavy or what. So, yeah. But this one is, I want to frame the label. I really like it. So
I've got their rosemary and lemon Lichtenhammer. I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's a fun name.
I think that's another smoked. It's from the Funk Dungeon.
Oh, I had Funk in Drublic. I always get it wrong, because it's basically a play on the Punk in Drublic by NoFX, which is why I wanted that beer, because I personally like NoFX, and I was like, I really want that beer, but it's called Funk in Drublic or something.
Yeah,
and that's their Funk Dungeon series as well.
Well, this is a new beer style to me. I think it's a smoked. I think that's a smoked beer, which is interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. Recommended by Gary to me from our beer group. Hi, Gary. He loves an interesting beer as well. Literally, when we were talking about good, and someone had put there up and said that was that, and I was like, oh, look, saisons. Literally, the comment popped up from him going, as if it just popped in, going, did someone say saisons? Well, yes, I did. Go get you some.
Oh man. Oh, I can't talk about good because I've been like, I don't have any more beer orders coming except for the one from Joanne.
No,
and then I'm like, and
such
that
in my
also
living room.
includes the one that I've placed with you, which is the good one. Because I was like, no, I haven't ordered anymore. The rest are coming from Joanne, except for that one.
Yeah.
Oops. But it's a mermaid beer. Come on.
Yeah.
I need to have that.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not sexy. Back to sexy.
Yes.
So yeah, I think my personal favorite out of them, my sexiest, most favorite one that I will get super sexy with 100% is going to be that extra brownie pints. Which one are you going to get sexy with?
Yeah, it's the extra brownie pints. I think with Have a Break coming closely behind, I think
I like them all.
Yeah.
But I feel like that extra brownie pints is just superb. And then I think it might be the Abbeydale second for me, only because of how unique it is for me, because I've never had anything like that, and it balances out the extreme sweetness of the extra brownie pints. That's why I think. But that's not to say anything about Fierce, because I love them. I think they are a bit underrated, actually. In the amount of buzz that's generated about them. I don't think they get enough buzz for how amazing they pull off their flavors. So yeah, I want to check out more smoked beers now, because that was really interesting.
We should do a smoked beer episode. There we go.
Here we go, coming up with more.
It's slightly more difficult to get a hold of, but so that might be along the way after we've managed to collect some.
It's like Pokemon, we're collecting all the episodes. It's great. Right. So final thoughts from you. I think we just kind of said our final thoughts on the beer.
I think so.
So I guess let us know what beer you want to get sexy with on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, let us know what you're planning to do on Valentine's Day, beer related or otherwise. But don't get too sexy. You can keep that to yourself. With like your activities, with your it's just getting worse. It's getting worse. Tell us what beer and food pairings you did, and what you cooked, what beers you cooked with.
How you treated yourself. How you treated someone else. Treat yourself. And also somebody else maybe. And then tell us how you did that. Not in the most graphic way possible. Keep it to a minimum.
Yeah. Well, I've got my RuPaul t-shirt on, because if you can't love yourself,
how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Yeah. Can I get an amen?
Amen. There we go.
I think that's the sign off.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
If you'd like to talk to me about RuPaul or smoked beers, where I can get them for our podcasting episodes, I am a woman's brew on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you would like to find my beer school, come and sign up for my
Galentine's Day.
Come to my Galentine's tasting. Come and sign up for that. You can find that on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Love Beer Learning, and it's also on Pinterest. We're on the TikTokies. I will be posting reviews of the Northern Monk chocolate beers on the TikTokies, so go and look at that. You can also find us at the website lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and you can email us lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Go to the website and find that Guinness chocolate cake recipe to make for the weekend. Where can they find you, Tori?
Yeah, they can find me if you want to recommend me something that you think can beat that extra brownie pints. You can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism, and I'll be on the Galentine's Day event with my Coco Docus. Joanne, she's going to be professional. I'll try to make it sexy up in there for Galentine's Day. So yeah, come join in. It will be really fun. The more the merrier.
Come learn about beer with us.
Yes. Well, I tried to derail things into the sexy.
We won't let her. It's fine. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of by Tori being sexy.
I won't. I will not be sexy, I promise. And with that, enjoy your Valentine's Day, and cheers.
Cheers.